Probius' his ability to run a bunch of different specials. They're even running the Zool there last week. So play a map they'll avoid completely today if they can. If they can run through both these best of fives. We're not there yet. Recurse Hall is going to be a map where macro is more important. We've seen the Falstad been high impact already in Game 1, removed there in Game 2. And in Game 3, I think that this might be the map we see Genji actually get through the draft because of the global commitment.
Right, and also one more. Dehaka is dispatch is still before the nerf onto Dehaka's wave clear. So Dehaka is added onto the first ban phase. Whichever that is not banned, both teams are going to try to take it from the first picks.
I saw those changes. I was a little bit disappointed in myself, but his wave clear is massively nerfed. Very sad. All for quote-unquote talent diversity, but rip our Zerg one-armed friend. So first ban here for GG. Obviously, they chose that, as is about 99.98% of the time. We'll see losing team pick first pick instead of the map. GG giving a lot of thought to this, which is actually quite worrisome, but probably just really considering what to do for their first pick when Miracle locks in their hero.
It's more of a guessing game. It's more like they decided what to ban, but how is Miracle going to respond to their ban, and what are they trying to take right after their pick?
Like, okay, Zerato's gonna be banned first. They want to get either the Genji or the Falstad here, I think. So I think this is going to be a Falstad pick now. So both assassins removed. Pretty insta-lock for Miracle.
Good has been playing on Dehaka several times on this battleground, and also Sky Temple. Let's see if they choose to bring it around, because Dami or Hankana will be picking Dehaka very likely once it comes around for them.
All right. Again, a lot of time spent here for GG. Not the confidence going into this that Miracle has with the momentum there. There's the Falstad. Three-legged Falstad skin. Falstad that was in a pirate accident skin.
Cannier skin perfect for Hearts Bay, which is not here for the season. Maybe in Season 2, we'll see Bay. I want to see that Zool action coming back.
I heard that Squid 1, Squid 2, Squid 3, and Squid 4 actually jumped up to grab that Falstad arm, grabbed his arm, and took it off when he was trying to fly.
You're
just
trying to fill the chat with spams now.
He didn't have epic mount, so the Squid actually took his Griffin's foot off, so that's why he's got the hook. That's the true story. So Dehaka is going to be locked in now for Miracles, as they need that global presence. And when you compare the Falstads of Sniper and Wu-Jay, it's definitely it's a pretty close comparison. Like, Wu-Jay is more known for his Falstad, but Sniper is actually very good on the hero. So I think that Sniper will probably play the Dehaka here, most likely. Let's see how the draft goes first. But we've also seen really good Dami Dehaka. Tyrael, very early on in this draft. Would this be an ETC pairing, I wonder? Very early, if so.
I think they want to have it before Miracle takes it, or even considering banning it right after. And there's a Leeming.
Okay.
It feels like GG has been really stealing away picks.
Yeah, but they're picks that never synergize with their comp directly. Like, this Tyrael doesn't really work out with this just yet in terms of damage. If I'm Miracle here, I'm either considering the ETC ban and or the Karazim ban. Jaehyun's been so reliant on Malfuria, but hasn't been able to get him in this series, sadly, with how they've been drafting. That's another thing that's really important, is just how reliant Jaehyun is comparatively to Darvish on the Malfuria, but Darvish should be getting it every time just because he knows how reliant Jaehyun is on the hero.
Jaehyun's signature hero is Malfurion, and every time he was on that Malfurion, we had a highlight clip available the next week, every single week. So Miracle really putting that Malfurion on top, and Malf is right now is the best support, I think, in the game with the CC and
definitely
sustained heals. So
no one's gonna argue that one with you. You're on the money. The Anurag ban seems odd, but it's very possible he could have run him in this composition. He has a lot of delay he can use with his beetles, and He pairs really well with Tyrael. This is an old Chinese style to run the Falstad, leaving Tyrael and a noob, especially with Kharazim as well.
I think Miracle was stepping ahead, and they're going to go for a lot of spell damage. That's why they're removing Anub'arak, because they already have Tyrael with Anub'arak. They're going to soak up so much spell damage with their base spell armor built onto them. So I think that's kind of a hint in the draft right now. GG should be realizing.
That's why they'd ban the Nazebo. That's the idea here. So Miracle's like, unfortunate. Tychus is going to be a really strong pickup here, I think. And the question is with whom? With the removal of Anub'arak, they already have Tyrael against them, but could be a Hammer Tychus. DPS is the concern here for Miracle. With the Nazebo ban, that was really one they were looking for.
Maybe not both DPS. They still have the last 5th pick to counter against the complete draft of GG. Maybe also because Tyrael is on the other side and Anub'arak banned, taking away ETC, having that great mosh pit for the big turnaround, and Onkano on that ETC has been near perfection, as we saw from last week's series.
This is actually a frustrating position for Miracle in terms of DPS really being locked away. I think it's 100% the Tychus, and it's with Muradin. So they're going to save that 5th pick, as you mentioned, as a counter one. You know, it's not outside of the realm of possibility that we see the Sergeant Hammer with BFG against the comp of GG, because that burst can actually knock Falster or Li Ming out of the fight immediately. Will we see a strong melee solo laner from GG with this composition instead of the ETC with the Tyrael? The answer is no, or I can even ask the question. The only time GG locked in hyper fast this time. So they have the Mosh Pit synergy, they have 2 top-tier DPS, the stronger global presence for split pushing, and a mobile support. I feel like GG so far is kind of winning this draft.
But what is Miracle going to bring here? Maybe a very strong front line. I think with double tank, I think less likely, because either Dami and Onkano will be on one of them, and most likely Dami on Dehaka, Onkano on Muradin. We'll be looking for Sniper Zero here, or Crazy Moving also.
This is definitely not a situation where you want to run Cassia in terms of DPS on the other side. She could help counter Falstad, but...
I was thinking of Sonya, some strong frontliners, but they already have very strong frontline with 2 warriors.
Could be like a specialist here. Ooh, the Greymane. This feels desperate because they don't have a lot of protection for him. They only have Malfurion heals. It's going to be all about the poke, and his cocktail accuracy is going to have to be godlike. Could really help with the Cursed Bullet too, if he decides to go into that because of the tanks, the Tyrael, the ETC that are constantly going to be in the front lines. Miracle with a dominant game 1, dominant game 2, even more so. But game 3, Cursed Hollow, they seem to have the weaker draft. Can they make this work? Prioritized so highly everything but the DPS. They had a bit of an de-synergized DPS there at the end. The draft on the other side of GG, though, completely solid. Let's see if they can close out the series or if GG is going to breathe life as we go into game number 3. In a blue, MVP Miracle on match point. Honkono on Muradin. Dami on Dehaka. Sniper on Tychus. Crazy Moving on Greymane. And Darvish on Malfurion.
And in red, GG. BDG on Li Ming. Jaehyun on Kharazim. Good on Tyrael. Hooligan on ETC. And Wujie on Falstad.
It is time.
It's time, I think.
Pressure is so much on GG now.
And also losing Malfurion every single time because they have to pick something else. Focusing the globals from the beginning. It's costing them big, especially Jaehyun right now.
Oh, this is going to be a free tower. Nicely done.
It also connects to Hooligan because he can also play Diablo. I think Diablo was a solid option, especially in Spider. But losing that Malfurion from the beginning really cut both things off. Really great drafting from Miracle.
For sure. No, they're definitely a little bit behind because of that quicker rotation here. Crazy Movie is actually staying missing, which is kind of terrifying for GG right now. They don't know where he is. Like, If I'm BDG and I'm like, ooh, I don't even know. Like, do I want to be really careful? He's actually still not showing himself on the top. And they see Honkono.
Now he does.
Okay, now he's gonna show himself.
And Uje was just flying over. He didn't even want to push the lane, because once he pushes the lane, it's gonna be all the way onto the Miracle side. It's gonna be a little bit tougher to soak in that EXP.
Pew pew pew. Spray there as well. Ooh, the hook and the root. But Dami's super low.
Honkono comes right in. There's the stun. Overall, good trade for both sides.
There's just no DPS here for MVP Miracle, so it's hard for them to actually get a kill.
But never underestimate the damage of Borden and the Haka if they lock you up with a drag and the Stone Bolt. Once also, after those stacks on the Stone Bolt, it'll actually do a lot more damage later on.
So he did commit to that, not the third win. So despite this hyper-aggressive play, he's really just doing it for the hyper-aggressive Storm Bolts to get those stacks and has the mana reduction.
Also, Moonburn again in this battleground, it's not the most common thing. Usually it's the drone for that vision, extra vision available. Of course, there's no 0-2 on the other side, but that's kind of rare to see. Focusing on the wave clear, an extra bit of damage, as maybe they need that extra bit of damage for themselves.
Well, it's definitely going to help him push down these Mercs. He's taking that very quickly. The much faster timing here for Miracle, 220. And unfortunate spawning location for this early Siege Giant push. We'll see if they actually commit to trying to clear the wave first then. So you think they will, because Greyman's heading up there already. So they want to hard push this lane and then contest the tribute. So the Siege Giants will actually get some value regardless. The Hawk is actually forced to stay down and deal with the bot Siege Giant, so might see a late rotation up. If he doesn't deal with them first, then it's going to be painful for MVP Miracle. They just need to buy time right now. There's the cocktail. And BDG is going to make a slow eventual clear of these. Not the best hero to clear it.
Slightly better for GG because the Haka has to take care of that camp on the bottom lane for the time being.
They're also getting more EXP, Miracle is, because of that, though. Right now, Falstat's in limbo, missing a few minions. So they actually take a slight EXP lead for the time being. But now that he's dealt with the Siege Giants, he can definitely rotate up. GG needs to be prepared for this opportunity, or rather this eventuality.
Yeah, the Haka can join in anytime, and Falstat is out of range. Here comes the Haka. We're looking for that tongue grab onto ETC, and that's going to be a stun. And follow-up is real. Almost enough. Can Hooligan actually... Enough damage even after hitting it by that cocktail there.
Oh my god, Sniper's so low. Good's going to get the kill there with the Eldruins in. Will actually get dragged though, and that's going to be the death of him. So 1 for 1 here. Here comes Uje. Just so much of a better trade though for GG. You could see the power of their composition in this team fight. And it was such a dive, such a commitment there to try to get the pick onto ETC. Because of the positioning of BDG, they thought, okay, we get BDG out of the picture, now we can collapse onto Hooligan. Both Hooligan and BDG survive, and then BDG comes back with a vengeance, does a lot of damage there to the bottom right. So it was actually if they had gotten the pick onto Hooligan, it would have been a totally different story. They failed to do so. By the way, not even upgrading the Oregon form at level 1. Full cocktail here. I like this choice a lot, considering the composition for Miracle.
Now that's the power of the new ETC with the new Rockstar trait, having that armor right after the ability for 2 seconds. I think that, if not that trait changed into the armor, he would have not lived out of there.
A lot of damage reduction. Actually gonna see him try to commit to this tower. At least get out of ammo. Maybe look for another Q. Alright, so this is important more than the last one, because if Miracle loses this, they're going to have to contest the next one. It could just be an unlucky spawn for them. Cocktail already used. There's the Moonfire. Hooligan in really good position. Honkono actually has to Eldruins away. Dami's going to come in, though. Actually immediately burrows. Cypher, though, getting that free damage done. Hooligan is isolated. Does have a nice face melt, but look at that zoning route once again. Darvish really on form tonight. And this is just, there's just so much more consistent damage and poke on the composition for GG. Everyone in Miracle is so low, they just can't fight anymore. They have to give this up. It's just way better, more solid team fighting composition for GG. That's the problem with Miracle. They have two types of range damage, but Tychus has to get in close, which gives Leeming free opportunity to poke. There's so much CC with ETC there, so if you're the Tychus player, Sniper in this case, you really have to be positioned so far back that you can't really do damage, and when you try to do damage, as we saw in that last fight, you just get punished for it.
That's right, the range of Tychus' auto attack has been used. Still very strong hero, but it's really costing him big, especially during the team fights, just like this, when you have to fight over the objective. It really cost him, especially when you have a long ranges like Falstad and Leeming on the other side. So this is exactly why we were saying GG had the overall better balance. Fighting for that tribute, they have more poke. Sustain-wise, Malfurion is going to help, of course, Miracle. But they also have lots of dashes in. They can dive in with Greymane. Let's see if Greymane goes in for the the throw instead of the Curse Bullet again.
It's going to be the Curse Bullet, though. I think this is good considering the aggressive play we're seeing from Hooligan this game. He does actually commit to Worgen here, but does not actually toss out that bullet. Dami actually taking a lot of damage here in the bot lane. We'll have to use this fort to escape. Don't think he has a tap either. Ooh. No fire there. Wanted to go for the grab, but thinks better of it. He does have the tap, in fact, actually. Maybe a Falstad fly up, so we'll likely join him. 10 for everybody here. This 7-sided strike and Mosh Pit. Hooligan comes in, already very well positioned. Look at that BDD damage coming out onto Sniper, but he does survive. There's the Twilight Dream coming down. It's going to give Sniper time to use his Odin.
That was expected. Hooligan was waiting for that. It's time for his Mosh Pit to go in. They're actually committing all the way in. Solo Falstad blows up without using the Gust. Mosh Pit barely not used right in time.
That's a much better team fight for MVP Miracle. They were able to do this with the Odin. That was actually the key. It was the Odin that popped there. The Twilight Dream did some extra damage, bought them time. And then the Odin was really the carry for that fight in terms of DPS. Crazy Woman with some good cocktails as well. The Curse Bullet just so incredibly powerful against the tanks. And they're going to get a boss off of this. So start off rough, but with those amazing kills there and this boss pressure, they should be able to even up the tributes and go 2-2 on that next spawn and approach a talent tier lead once again.
Well done by Sniper. You could see the tension of the positioning, the range. It's like boxers knowing the range of the opponent's punch and really not getting close to the range, because you know that ETC is gonna power slide and put up that big mosh when Malfurion is right next to you. That can turn around everything. So on that Odin form, just poking, not really getting close to the ETC. Just perfect job with Sniper there.
So here comes the next tribute. It's going to be spawning on red side. Miracle has this boss pressure for a little bit longer, but actually GG cleared it very quickly. They didn't double boss or anything. In fact, Dami's actually going to get dove upon. He gets taken out.
Oh, right
Ragdoll physics are pretty cool, but 30 seconds he's going to be dead. And that's going to be 30 seconds that he's going to give GG the opportunity to boss here. I don't think Miracle is realizing this quick enough. I think they expected the rotation to the tribute. They're heading down though. Honkono coming over. Falstad flies in, actually right over Honkono. They want to try to deny this, it looks like. Here's the big root that's going to buy just enough time for Honkono to get in position. I think he's going to dive in. He wants to commit, but he's interrupted. His Dwarf Toss is interrupted there. Well done by GG. The face melt there stops him from coming in for the contest. That could have been an opportunity for Miracle. Brushstock is ready. He just brushstocks in, and suddenly this is a fight Miracle can win.
I think that could have been a little bit of overextension also from Miracle, because Greymane was a little bit far away from the boss, and Falstad had the Gust available. So I feel like it was going to go for GG anyhow. They tried to go for a commit a little bit, but I'm actually glad that the Honkono didn't go all the way in.
The boss is wailing on the keep wall, but this is just Miracle just has to actually accept this and contest this tribute. It's on blue side, which is actually amazing for them. Uche's just soaking in the top lane. So they're already in better position. Look at this choke point defensively. They have this arc to work with. They just have more room, and they have the ability to root the one choke point GG can enter from. Still having some trouble actually channeling though because of the poke from Li Ming. Ooh, that cocktail didn't even connect. I definitely want that Cinder Elixir quest to complete. That's going to be massive.
This tribute will give curse to either team that picks up. Falstad has been pushing top to soak up to 13, and they have 13.
Okay, Darvish just continues to channel, but BDG constantly shutting him down. He decides to think better of it. They want to actually go aggressive now to look for a pick before the fight.
Lots of damage done to Hooligan before the fight. He has to tap on the mountain.
Honkono commits in. Immediate teleport away from BDG. Nice dodge on the Stormbolt. This might have been an overextension for MVP Miracle. Honkono taking a lot of damage, but he has that Avatar. Sniper once again does get the Odin. Sanctification used early.
Bad positioning of Darvish coming out from the side. Has to use the Ice Block to buy time.
Buys him a lot of time though.
Honkono jumps in to save his teammates. Well done, Darvish was in trouble. He didn't even have to use the Twilight Dream, just has to use Ice Block there.
Yeah, actually all heroics in the game used for this fight. Nobody dies. And finally Avatar will expire here for Honkono. Looking for the Stormbolt onto Uj. Does get it. It's actually doing a lot of damage. And now they're going to loop around here. Uj's in trouble. Needs to rotate down. This is actually such a tense fight. We're so even in this game. The boss was cleared. No keep damage. Just the keep wall damaged. I think he got like the gate, but not the towers. Okay, another Stormbolt comes in. They're channeling. They're channeling. Here's the flight. They want to commit to it. Also Disintegrate used. Two big tools here. 7-side strike going off. Once again, Sniper is caught, and he's picked off. They thought they could get the channel, but they thought wrong. And that's going to cost them a lot of their DPS.
Hooligan survives at the end of the day. Does not have Avatar. Honkono is low on mana. No mana to Dwarf Toss away. It's going to be a dead Dwarf. And a curse going to GG.
Oh, this is dirty. They're going to go for the keep immediately. The wall is already damaged. Just going to ignore it.
Sank back in 13 seconds. With Tychus down, basically they do not have the finishing blow because it is Curse Bullet instead.
This is actually really scary. How aggressively will GG play this? They're just going to back off. Top keep's going to, or sorry, top fort's going to go down immediately. Mid fort goes down at the same time. So 2 more forts just instantly perished. That gives GG 16. I'm a little bit.
Get that wave on top. That's, I believe, more than 20 minions on top.
I'm a little bit disappointed for the decision to grab the Bruiser camp. I feel like they could have definitely done more with this. Looks like they want to take this and parlay it into taking the Breadside boss. I'm just going to take a safe walk back here. Not going to try to hearth. They're going to take their double Bruiser camp to go for the boss, but they only get 1 keep as a result. They don't damage any of the keep walls, and they don't get a free boss either.
Because they get to take all these balls because of all the pressures in all lanes. They had the pressure already before the curse. Now, by the time when the next Tribute spawns, when Miracle is looking for the curse, their lanes will be pushed again from all these camps right now. So their job is to try to clear the camps, try to relieve the pressure, because they need to have that curse to come back.
Darvish actually going hard and focus at 16. Just wants to have more heals and more roots more often, because he needs the extra heals because the poke is so good from GG with Falstad's Q, doing some extra poke, leaving really accurate here so far from BDG, and just wants to have those extra heals. As long as he can position correctly, he will always have that, but he has had some positioning problems throughout this game. Honkono scouts out the boss, does deny this, but will die to the 7-side strike, and you just can't do this against 7-sided. We learned this back in the summer season last year. They're going to get the Mosh, though. Sanctification coming up.
It's only on Dami, so luckily Crazy Moving got out of there pretty quickly. BDG has to only poke from the side because she's very low.
Oh, this is a disastrous fight for Miracle.
Still 4v5, Dami gets very low, and that's no tank, no more front lines, so the rest of the team has to back off. It's going to be free boss.
Last year, in the summer season, it was Hyde who taught everyone why 7-side strike should be meta in Korea, why it was used specifically on this map for boss control to punish the scouting tanks. It's like lesson number 1. It's the A, B, and C of how to play against Karzium on this map is just not to scout alone deep in or you will get punished. And Honkono died immediately as a result. They lose boss. And GG is in prime position to start pushing another keep here. And they are just non-stop having to deal with that bot lane pressure. And GG massively ahead now with this boss take, with the kill on Honkono. Tribute's going to be on the bot side. So it's actually a really lucky spawn for Miracle. Otherwise, GG probably just gets double boss here. In fact, they may still. Just not much they can do about it. Honkono, if he dies from another 7-sided, I will be super disappointed.
He does have the Avatar now, but he's alone again. And I think better spawn for GG actually because of the boss. Top push, Miracle has to give up either one. They chooses to take down the boss.
Yeah, well, Miracle decided to stop the boss push and commit all the resources to the top boss, but this boss is actually going to hit the core. Yeah, and GG has a lot of tools, including Sanctification now. If Miracle fails to defend this boss push, they will lose the game.
That's why Miracle comes out of their safety zone and tries to poke down that boss pretty quickly.
Okay, Holy Ground coming in. Dami actually healing up now. That was a close call. Good cocktail there. Very nice cutting from Crazy Moving. Odin comes up for Sniper. Boss is on the core. They're just going to try to focus it down, independent of the rest of the team. Jaehyun actually used his 7-side strike very early.
I'm getting so low and does get blown up before this boss is on the core. I think that may be enough. Honkono also gets very low. They do have Sanctification unused. Also
Odin
has Mosh Pit and Gust available for all their heroics.
Odin was very, very useful, doing a ton of damage here. I think that might be enough for Sniper to actually hold this off. Sanctification also used so early here. They can't core anymore.
That's right.
Close call for Miracle. Well, they will survive to fight another day to potentially take this series still. Cards are stacked against them, but they hold strong for the time being. They want this curse, and Honkono is already in position to channel for it. But they aren't going to be able to get a keep from this. There's just no way. They're just going to try to have to soak for 20 to catch up, to stay even in talent tiers. At least try to, because there's still a window of time where they're not going to have 20. In fact, they're not even going to get the channel the tribute. They can't.
They are even, and the Haka can brush Tucker in, but Odin is down, Adaptation is down, and Avatar is down. So they're tanking ability in the front line when, except for Sanctification, when GG has everything else available, and they just hit 20. So I think it was a better decision at the end of the day, but this is going to pressure them a little bit more because of that. They really want to have the curse. They've been having 2 tributes for the last 8 minutes.
Yeah, that's true. Greymane has committed to Executioner here at 16 because he just wants the extra damage that they're missing so sorely here. And it's just going to hold on to that to look for the picks, to hope for the roots to actually be good, for the scaling of the perfect storm coming in for Honkono to be amazing as well. Nexus Blade's actually coming out for Tyrael at 20 for the slow, and help them with all the CC they have. They can also isolate a target this way with the auto attacks, and 7-side strike, you slow a target, he gets broken off from the main group, and then boom, 7-sided, he's dead. Honkono's just actually doing the sneakiest split soak and split push over here the world's ever seen. They're going to actually make a push for the core now, though. It's going to force Honkono to retreat back. Will he just stick around for the tribute, though? Looks like he will, because they're actually not going to commit to that core push. They're just going to head back themselves. GG would get a curse from this. As you said, Miracle's been waiting for so long to get that first curse of the game. This fight still happens without Miracle having 20, but this fight will likely decide the game.
That's right, and Miracle would want to soak for 20 before that happens. They're
trying
to
burst!
choke down.
Not enough!
Of course, not enough. And Haka, look at, he ignores the camp, go for the next row wave to soaking that EXP. Maybe it's about time to hit that 20 and start the team fight. It's almost there. Okay,
Sniper actually has the Odin pop now. Here comes Dami. He's coming in. Hooligan. Good knockback there. Sanctification used way too early. It feels like GG's getting a little bit nervous in this really tense moment. The core pressure is going to start hitting really soon, though.
There's
so GG wants to buy time. 20's reached. This bolt could be the big factor here for Darvish. Interrupted channel with the disintegrate, but so much damage already put off.
Falstad backdooring. She's on to the core with the camp.
They have to go back. They have to go back.
There's no way. They just have to stall time. Good is on the other side. He can and Hooligan
they're buying so much time with this. The core is going down on the other side of the map. Oh, they get the kill on the ETC, but Sniper falls. And the core is the more important thing here. Uche's taking a lot of damage. There's another minion wave spawns. He has to back off.
Even a catapult here now.
No one
only
can
30%.
No one can hurt. Oh, Uche needs to be so careful. One more shot would have killed him there. And Garzim's dead. He can't actually get there. He needs another minion wave, but it's going to be too much.
Game.
Oh, Uche's so low. He dies, but it doesn't matter. The siege chance will clear the core. And that is GG. Taking a game here.